What's up, y'all? This is Terrence Avilas. Alright, here's the scoop on The Walking Dead Dead City Season 2. It's got this golden chance to clean up a big mess in the timeline that's making the whole franchise look like a jumbled up spaghetti mess. Picture this. If Rick Grimes grabbed Dave Walker, cut it open, threw its guts around, and then sprinkled spaghetti on top, it would still make more sense than The Walking Dead's timeline right now. Even before the show spun off into multiple series, things got tricky because Chandler Riggs, who plays Carl Grimes, grew up way faster than his character. Now, AMC's thrown 5 spin-offs into the mix, making the timeline even harder to follow. They usually keep the calendar vague, just like in Robert Kirkman's comics, to avoid continuity issues. But as different shows started blending together, they couldn't stay vague anymore, and now things don't add up. Rick Grimes' comeback is particularly confusing, but Dead City Season 2 can fix this. Despite trying to keep the timeline under wraps, it's clear that The One to Live happens before Dead City. Given how long Rick was with the CRM, Michonne saying RJ is 8, and the proximity to World Beyond, Rick and Michonne have to return to Alexandria soon after Season 11. Dead City's timeline is fuzzy, but it's definitely later than The One to Live. Weirdly, Maggie and Negan never mention Rick being alive. Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, mentioned a time jump between shows of a few years to 5 or 6 years, which fits with an older Herschel and Negan's comments about the Saviors being around 15 years ago. Maggie and Negan spend all of Dead City Season 1 together, talking about the past, but they never mention Rick's return. That's something you'd expect to come up. So, why didn't Maggie ask Rick to help rescue Herschel? Rick has all of this military training and tactical knowledge from the CRM, and by the end of The One to Live, the CRM is allied with Alexandria. Maggie's plan to trade Negan for Herschel seems riskier than teaming up with Rick and some troops. Dead City can fix this by having Maggie mention Rick early in season 2. She could even justify not involving Rick in Herschel's rescue, maybe feeling guilty about putting him in danger after all he went through with the CRM. But this doesn't fix the overall timeline issue. The Rick Grimes plot hole is a symptom of a bigger problem. Negan and Maggie's story happening way ahead of The One to Live and Daryl Dixon, with AMC running 3 spin-offs simultaneously, but with one set further in the future. Any major events in the earlier shows need to reflect in Dead City. Rick returning to Alexandria is just one example. With more seasons of Daryl Dixon and The Ones Who Live in the works, more plot holes will pop up. The best solution is for Dead City Season 2 to subtly adjust its timeline, bringing it closer to Daryl Dixon and The Ones Who Live. Maybe Maggie mentions that only 18 months or 2 years have passed since the Commonwealth became an ally. This would make it easier for The Walking Dead to throw in big twists and other spin-offs without worrying about how they affect Dead City. The timeline would feel more cohesive and less like Rick's metaphorical guts mural. Retcons can be messy, but Dead City Season 2 has enough wiggle room to pull it off. When Negan said 15 years, he also said 12, 15 years, showing he wasn't keeping track, giving room for Dead City Season 2 to place itself closer to The Walking Dead's end. Herschel, looking older, would be a bit weird, but no more so than Chandler Riggs' Carl. Dead City limits other shows. Knowing Oceanside still exists in Dead City means no other show can destroy it. No other spin-off can visit NYC, feature Negan, or contradict Dead City Season 1. Fixing this would outweigh any rapid growth spurts or Negan's poor timekeeping. Plus, a tighter timeline makes crossovers easier. If The Walking Dead's cast reunite, Maggie and Negan will be involved. The crossover would have to decide if it's before Dead City, sacrificing some suspense, or after Dead City, potentially needing to recast characters like Judith. If Dead City Season 2 places itself closer to the ones who live in Daryl Dixon, planning future events would be much simpler. Alrighty, if you love The Walking Dead, go ahead and subscribe. The Walking Dead forever.